Shalom, I'm Rabbi Michael Panitz. I'm the Rabbi of Temple Israel of Norfolk, Virginia, speaking to you from the pulpit of our synagogue. My message at this time is called "The Floodwaters of Violence Still Cover the Earth." It is too soon to declare peace and line up for prizes. In the flood story, in Genesis, the story of Noah, even after the waters of the deluge had stopped coming down, the earth was still inundated. Noah and family and representative individuals of the terrestrial and avian animals sheltered in the ark, but could not leave their escape pod. According to the story, Noah sent out birds to scan beyond the limits of his own sight lines, to check if the dry land had reappeared. He sent out a raven, no success. He sent out a dove, again, no success, at least not at first. As the Bible relates, Genesis chapter 8, verse 9, "But the dove found no place to set her foot, and she returned to Noah to the ark, for the waters were still on the face of the whole earth. So he put out his hand and took her and brought her into the ark with him." That story speaks to us today. First, why, according to the story, did God inundate the world? The answer is found in Genesis chapter 6, verse 11, because, quote, "the world was filled with violence." The Hebrew word for violence is Hamas. Now, the current-day terrorist organization, Hamas, gets its name from an Arabic language acronym, not from the Hebrew word. But it certainly is an apt term for that organization, because violence is its essential nature. Its essence is violent hatred of the infidel, quote-unquote infidel, and violent deeds against Jews worldwide and Israelis. There was a much ballyhooed ceasefire between Israel and Hamas a couple of weeks ago. Hamas has not fulfilled its pledge to return the bodies of the Israeli hostages it killed. As of this writing, it is returning one or two at a time, and of course we hope that it will soon complete the task. But even so, the basic premise of the ceasefire, that Hamas will disarm, is not even on the horizon. So any thought that peace is at hand is simply an illusion cherished by various people for egotistical reasons or because of wishful thinking. This sober conclusion was brought home to me this morning when I walked in the Old Dominion University campus on my way to the Hebrew class I teach several mornings a week. One of the sidewalks on campus is reserved for, quote, crowns. The various student organizations fill in a crown-shaped picture with images and words of their choosing, describing their work. Student clubs and teams pour enthusiasm and creativity into this characteristically undergraduate level activity. When I got to the crown of the Jewish organization, Hillel, I saw a student sitting at a bench right near that crown. He was wearing a t-shirt with Hebrew lettering on it. I read the inscription on the back of the t-shirt, and it said, ODU University, in Hebrew letters. I introduced myself to him as the Hebrew professor and invited him to register for my class in a future semester. Then he told me why he was sitting there. He showed me that the crown of the ODU Hillel organization had been vandalized, and he was waiting to talk with the professor who is the ODU Hillel advisor. I took a photograph of the crown on the sidewalk, and you can see it here. Clearly, someone vandalized it by spilling red acrylic paint across it. Red, the color of blood. A similar defacement happened to the ODU Hillel crown 2 years ago, when, in addition to symbolic blood, someone had written "Free Palestine." I called my colleague, my academic colleague, Dr. Amy Milligan, professor of Jewish Studies, who is the Old Dominion University Hillel director. She told me that she had already reported the incident to campus police, and they were reviewing security camera footage to see if they could identify the perpetrator. Dr. Milligan and I shared our recollections of the previous incident of vandalism 2 years ago, and she corroborated my unhappy conclusion that the university had done very little at that time to take a public stand against that manifestation of blatant anti-Jewish behavior. 2 years ago, the university responded with a relatively innocuous letter to campus club presidents, reminding them that it is against university rules to deface any of these crowns. But the school did not come out with a vigorous public statement. Dr. Milligan and I are hoping for a more forceful response from the university this time. I assured her that I would add my name to any letter of protest and any request for more effective protection that she sends to the university authorities, and that I would do my best to line up community support for such a representation. This message to you is the first part of my fulfilling that pledge. Back to the Genesis story. And so, alas, the dove has not yet found a place to rest her feet. The waters of anti-Jewish hatred continue to inundate the earth. Let us do our best to defend the right of our Jewish students to attend their college without having to deal with anti-Semitic intimidation. And more, let us continue to work for a world where anti-Semitism is not winked at, but is called out and fought vigorously. Then perhaps the dove will find its olive tree and can rest in it. May God bring such a day. Amen.